So, podcast?
Podcast. We're back at it again,
Oh my god, again. We're Rebel Retrospective, so I'm Kayla.
and I'm Tommy.
And this week we're going to start with our new release because why the hell not?
Why not?
Would you like to introduce it considering it was your suggestion?
So the new release this week it actually came out I think 3 weeks ago,
Oops.
and it's the new DC animated movie Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Yeah.
So some background. Outside of the many DC TV universes, there's so many,
Yeah.
and outside of the DC cinematic universe, your Batman v Supermans, things like that, there is also the DC animated movie universe, which essentially its job is to create more comic accurate stories, more faithful adaptations to the comics, so they're less bound by the restrictions of mainstream media, so they just tell more comic-y stories.
Mhm.
It's been going for about, I want to say about 10 years. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, this is the latest one. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Kayla, what did you think?
Okay, so I have one sticky note of notes. And before I start in with them, I have to say I actually really enjoyed this film.
Fantastic.
It was good. The animation was good. I liked the plot line. Yeah, so the few notes that I have, which is not many, is someone punches Superman and gets themselves hurt, which is just like a little trope I really like.
Yeah, it's. Are you talking about the bit in the bar scene?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just like straight up punches Superman and he's like, ah, my hand.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
If it's not blatantly obvious, spoilers,
Yeah.
because otherwise we get shouted at.
Yeah. I've written down here, ooh, snap Raven, because she just gets really sassy, like sassier than she
Oh my god.
usually is, and like, oh my
So
god.
I know that your DC universe knowledge, I guess, is slightly above average. I think is a good place to
Yeah,
put it. Um,
yeah, I'd say so.
and so there were certain characters in this that I was like, "Oh, you're gonna freak out. You're gonna love them." And Raven was the one because obviously you
Ooh,
know her from Titans, but in
yes,
this she's proper Raven, like proper full on Raven in this.
yeah, she really is.
You love it. Gotta
Okay,
love it.
the next one I've got is just wankers. Because so they
Is
go into
Constantine.
this is Constantine and oh I can't remember his name, the guy with the boomerangs.
Captain Boomerang.
Yes, Captain Boomerang. And, you know, they kind of like size each other up, and he's like, "Goddamn bloody Brits," and he's like, "Fucking Australians," and like wankers, and I have,
It's really good. It's really good.
yeah,
So a fun fact about Constantine:
mm,
he's voiced by Matt something or other.
good job.
Anyway, who is the same person who plays Constantine in the DC TV shows.
Oh well, that's good.
I'm fairly sure he's the only actor who both plays the character in live action and voices the character.
Oh well, that's
Like,
sweet.
only he can play Constantine. It's great.
I've then got that backed up with "Do your best, honey," because you just got like these two like middle-aged dudes just like getting angry at each other for being Australian or British, respectively, and then
Yes.
you've got Clark. They're like, "Just do your best, honey," and you're like, "Ah,
Yeah.
Clark."
Clark is actually a good character in this. Or
Yeah.
in these movies. He's one of the best.
I've also written down like Lois and Clark are goals because they are
Yes.
like, oh,
Yes. Also I
oh.
love that Lois Lane, like when we meet her in this, she's just in a boxing ring.
Yeah,
Because, you know, she's a reporter. Why shouldn't she be able to beat someone up in a boxing ring?
yeah. Why
Why not?
not? Um,
What was your opinion on Harley?
I actually liked Harley, so I was gonna talk about Harley regardless. So it's a very badly kept secret that Harley is my fave, always and always will be.
Yes.
I love her. And I think they did her justice. You know, she's the right level of, you know, crazy acrobat clown.
She seems to be. I was watching it and I was like, she is like the only one having fun. Everyone else is like, oh, we've got to end the world. Constantine doesn't care, but Harley's just there and she's like, I'm having a great time.
That's the thing. Harley just doesn't freaking care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's leader of the Suicide Squad, which happened, I think, in another of the animated movies. So that's really cool that they carried that over.
Yeah. The next note I've got is King Shark is a shark.
He is a shark.
And the fact that he, like, at the end, like, near the end of the film, he's like, yeah, it's nice fighting with you. And I think it's Boomerang, Captain Boomerang. He's like, you could talk the whole time, you fucking... What?
Yeah, so good. So good.
And then you have Constantine near the end. He's like, we're going to do this, but I'm still pissed at you.
Yes.
Pointing at bats. And
we've got to have a chat about this later. That's what you was like. Yeah, we're talking about this later, bats.
But that's all the notes I have, because the rest of it was just... The rest of it was great. All of it was great.
It's like, the thing about it, it's not... Like, you're one, you watch a lot of animated things, probably more than I do. It's not pretty. Like, it's nothing revolutionary. But you have a good time.
Yeah, no, like...
And it's good to see DC characters actually being good.
Yeah, absolutely. The animation is nothing special, you know, it's very standard DC animation, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is fine, it doesn't need to be good. I will say this is, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's animated, it's a kid's thing. No. This
oh my
is
god,
so
it is
gory.
Brutal. Like, I was just sitting there, they killed off so many people. So I had a list up, hold on.
Oh my god, you wrote them down? I was like, I could go through.
No, I didn't write them down. I found an article on it.
Oh, okay. That's mildly less bad.
So where was it? Here we go. 32 brutal deaths.
Yeah.
So out of the, I'm going to pick out a few of the highlights of the 32. So we saw John Stewart, Green Lantern. He was obliterated by lava being poured in the Green Lantern core.
Yeah.
And he just turned to like bones. Swamp Thing got blown up. That was pretty good.
Yep.
We saw like most of the Teen Titans just dead.
Yep.
Just straight up dead. Oh my god. Some kind of highlights there. Damian Wayne, he died later on as well, but then they managed to bring him back.
With the healing power of love.
Yes, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We saw most of the Suicide Squad die as well. That was pretty fun.
Yep.
We saw Batgirl. She got obliterated.
She did.
I was there and I was like, oh my god. Okay. Lady Shiva got shot in the head.
Yep.
Batwoman also died off screen. Etrigan the Demon, he lost to Wonder Woman. Who was the other one? Oh yeah, and Dick Grayson, who we all know is a babe. He got killed and brought back with the Lazarus Pit and went insane. So
yay!
You know, that's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a kids movie.
It really is not. I have a question, actually. So there was this thing they kept referencing, which is the Flashpoint, and I did like a little bit of research, and I couldn't work out what the fuck it was.
Okay, so you've come to the right person, as Flashpoint is my favourite comic book story of all time.
Oh, sweet.
So basically, the Flash, his whole thing is that his mother was killed when he was a boy.
Okay.
We find out it's by his greatest enemy, but that's not important. So the Flashpoint, and this happens in basically everything, like it happened in the TV show, it's happened in comics, it's happened in the films. Flashpoint is where Barry Allen Flash goes back in time, because he can time travel if he runs fast enough, and he stopped his mother dying.
Okay.
And it created this alternate reality where Bruce Wayne died instead and his dad became Batman and his mum became the Joker. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are like fighting and ripping the world apart in their fight. It's insane.
Yikes.
And that's the Flashpoint. And then Barry undid it, but it still had changes in the comics. It kicked off a new set of comics and stuff. But in this, they reference it because no one knows that it exists except Flash and Batman, I do believe.
I think Constantine.
Constantine knows because he looked into Barry's head.
Yeah.
That's why. But then he says at the end that Barry can undo everything that happened by creating another Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends with him running off into the unknown to try and reboot the universe, basically.
Okay, so it's effectively just rebooting the universe.
Well, not the entire universe, but I think undoing all of the deaths, because like everyone's dead at this point.
And like the planet is not coming back from this. They've lost like 30% of the core of the Earth. Like,
yeah. What did you? Because Constantine's the main character. If that wasn't obvious, because basically Justice League Dark is an off-brand of the Justice League that's more magical elements. So you've got Constantine, you've got the Demon, you've got Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Batman's in it for some reason.
Because Batman just gets everywhere.
Yeah, but I think he formed it possibly. Anyway, because Constantine didn't.
Yeah, no.
But basically, so they all formed, and then some of them joined the Justice League. So Constantine is like the leader of the Justice League Dark, and he's a horrible person. Like,
oh yeah.
So his whole thing is he's cursed to go to hell, which is why when he died, he was like, "How'd you manage to get me to heaven?" Like, what?
Yeah.
Because his soul is owned by a demon or something.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's awful, and he's an alcoholic.
I got that.
Yeah, so that's kind of his whole thing. So yeah, that's kind of why it's called Justice League Dark and not just Justice League.
It's a darker, grittier version.
Yes, full of magic.
More magic.
Magic. And what did you think of Darkseid? As a villain?
I didn't mind Darkseid as a villain, and it was really weird actually because I've been watching the Harley Quinn animated show, right?
Yeah.
That's been slowly coming out over the past few weeks, and so I watched Justice League like this morning because I ran out of time. Anyways, and then I was like, I'll just catch up with Harley Quinn, and Darkseid turns up in one of the most recent episodes of Harley Quinn as well.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of sitting there like, what?
So Darkseid is the greatest Justice League threat, probably.
He does seem a little OP.
Yeah, so he's one of the new gods, if you didn't pick up on that, because they keep saying it over and over again.
They kept saying it, and they never explain it, and I'm just there like, okay, cool, whatever.
And interestingly enough, Thanos is ripped off from Darkseid. So, there you go.
That doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form.
Because everyone goes, oh, they look the same. Oh, clearly Darkseid is a copy of Thanos. No, it's the other way around. So that's fun. But... the whole new gods, old god thing. So,
yeah,
there are old gods, which are people. So, obviously, Wonder Woman, her father is kind of Zeus. Kind of. It's all a bit up in the air.
Kind of.
So, her father is kind of Zeus, and that's one of the old gods.
Right.
And Trigon, who's obviously Raven's dad, is also one of the old gods, as is people like Hermes, who is, you saw Shazam in there, he was in there briefly.
Yep.
He gets his powers from all the old gods, so he has like the speed of Hermes and everything like that. But then there are a whole bunch of new gods who are around, so Darkseid's one of them. The other one is, another of them is a guy called Mobius, who is the person who owns the chair that Batman was sitting on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the new gods. And it's kind of like the new gods replace the old gods, which is why Trigon is kind of just angry or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun. And the chair gives the person sitting on it like infinite knowledge. So like you can ask it a question. They don't touch on it in the movie, but in the comics that this is kind of based on, Batman gets the Mobius chair and then he asks it who the Joker is.
Yeah.
And it turns out that there's like 3 Jokers. It's this whole thing
Okay.
in the comics that's being revealed this year. So that's pretty cool. And also, I think Wally West, who's another of the Flashes, sat on it and became like a god or something. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the Mobius. That's the questions you didn't ask about the chair that kind of shows up every now and again.
Yeah, I just kind of accepted the chair. I was like, you know what? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this.
So, what did you think of Damian Wayne?
Damian
obviously
Wayne.
you obviously know Dick Grayson,
Of course.
who's Nightwing,
Mm.
formerly Robin.
Yeah.
But then this is a whole different Robin.
Mm.
So I was curious what you think.
I'm gonna go with, he is just as emo as Dick was when he was smaller. Like,
Yes.
oh wow, Batman really knows how to fucking pick him, doesn't he? Like,
Well, because this is actually Batman's son.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So Batman and Talia al Ghul, who is the daughter of the head of the League of Assassins, had a child called Damian Wayne, and
Yeah.
he was brought up by Lady Shiva, who's the one who got shot in the head.
yeah,
So like when he was fighting Batman, that should not have been a fight. Damian Wayne is one of the best fighters in the DC universe,
yeah.
so that shouldn't have even been a fight, in my mind. But
As someone who knew less about,
yeah,
his parentage and how he was brought
No.
up and stuff, because I don't know.
no. If you do want to see more Damian, there is a film called Batman versus Robin, which is all about Batman and Damian. So
Okay, well, he
Um,
seemed full of teen angst, so
Yes.
that was fun.
yes,
Um,
yeah. So that's Justice League
yeah.
Dark. Hopefully you'll now watch more DC animated movies, or our viewers will, or somebody will, because most of them are good,
Okay.
except a few that are kind of bad, but most of them are good.
Wow. A star.
There's like a couple that are bad, but like there's like 20 to 30 of them, and like 3 of them are bad.
I feel like we should move on.
Yes, which leads us nicely into Showdown Throwdown,
Hell yeah.
and we're doing something different.
Oh shit.
So usually we put 2 or potentially more characters in a field and make them fight.
Yep.
And I thought I'd mix things up a little bit.
Oh no.
Now, I know you're very into your fashion.
I have feelings about fashion
Yes, Kayla's very into her fashion. She even makes her own fashion.
on occasion.
So I thought it'd be fun if you took the characters from Justice League Dark
Yeah.
and you rated some of their outfits.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm thinking maybe a top 5.
All right.
I've sent you some pictures for reference because
Sure
I didn't
have.
want you to just do it from your memory.
Yeah, that's
So I thought maybe you could give us some insight, some top 5 outfits from Kayla.
Okay, so I'm doing this off the top of my head. I had no idea this was coming. So we're going to do this on a couple of categories. We're going to go with, does it suit the character, first of all? Then we're going to go with,
Yeah.
does it make sense? Like, would this be an outfit that would work? Like, is it practical? And then thirdly, we're going to go for style, because style is everything, baby.
Yes.
So, let's have a think. While I am thinking, I'm going to talk about Harley Quinn, because god damn it. So in this film, Harley has like I think it's like a corset type top, and then basically just a pair of shorts along with her, typical headdress, which
Yeah, she looks like what I would describe as the Suicide Squad Margot Robbie Harley meets the traditional, actual, proper Harley outfit.
Yeah, like the OG Harley
That's
outfit.
that's like what I'd describe it as.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
It's like the colours and everything of it, but with like the actual clothes of the Margot Robbie Harley.
Pretty much. So, before we start this properly, I'm gonna say, oh my god, all of their outfits are so tight. Jesus.
Yes,
Have any
they
of
are.
you tried to move in tight clothing before? Because it's not that easy, unless they're all, like, wearing body paint or, like, spandex. Like, come on. Spandex, you can't...
The only I can give it like credit to a few of them. So Cyborg, for example, because he's a robot,
yeah, that's
wouldn't
fair
have
enough.
that issue. Green Lantern, because it's made out of the construct of the ring, like
Yeah.
it will move with him. So that's fine.
There's a couple in there which I'm like, you know what, that kind of makes sense. So like, even I could even like, you know, excuse the Flash because, you know,
Yeah,
gotta go fast.
gotta go fast. Yes, because the Flash is Sonic. That's what we've learned today.
Exactly. Flash is Sonic. This is what we've learned. Okay. So let's have a think. Top ones. So I'm gonna start talking about things I don't like because that will help me narrow it down. There are a lot of characters in this film. So first of all, we're gonna talk about Star Fury. I love this character with all of my heart, but what are the designers thinking? Like,
do you mean Corey?
yeah, I mean
as in
Corey.
Starfire, yeah. Yeah.
God, what's bad?
Her comic costume, which is what that is
Stupid.
yeah, really is.
Okay, so we're gonna mention a few things. First up, she's got like a boob hole in her top.
Yeah.
Like, for no apparent reason. Firstly, what the fuck? Secondly, not necessary. Thirdly, that's gonna make, you know, just moving really uncomfortable because you're gonna get chafing. We don't want chafing. And she's also got, like, waist cutouts, I think. They're, like, waist to
she's
hip
got,
cutouts.
like, holes in the costume.
Yeah. And then a really poorly placed, like, circle thing. Like, just...
like a jewel.
Yeah, like a jewel, like, on her lower stomach, like, where just a bit below her belly button, which I'm kind of, like, putting my hand there now, and it is not a comfortable place to have anything. Like, what are you doing? She's also got, like, these armband things, which is, like, a nice design thing, but, like, come on, if you're gonna give her sleeves, cowards.
Give her sleeves or don't. I mean, she's already got, like, the metal hand guard things.
Yeah, like, come on, just give her a goddamn catsuit already. It's not that hard. I know she's an alien, but you can still cover her up. We don't need to see her boobs. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna sound insane, but her costume is sexier than Harley's. Harley looks insane, which is what we're going for here. Whereas, you know, Starfire
because this is more. I think that's comes down to the mainstream versus non-mainstream thing. Like, they're not trying to appeal in the same way with Harley.
Yeah.
They're just trying to do Harley, and it works.
Yeah, it works so much better. Okay.
Like in Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
That costume is
oh my
not.
God.
I would not. I mean, it's really good, but it's not what I would say the most flattering thing in the world. But it's really good, and it's very Harley.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the same.
So we're gonna start talking about costumes that I do like. So I really, really liked Wonder Woman's outfit because I just like Wonder Woman.
Yes.
I think it suited her. It seemed appropriate, and I actually really liked the mechanized version near the end.
The evil, the like half robot Wonder Woman. Yeah, I was in love with it.
I thought that all of like the mechanized versions were really well designed. I thought they were really, really cool. But my top 5, I'm gonna give you a top 5 because you asked for it. So,
Fantastic.
Top 5. At the top, we have Raven. I think her character design is really cool.
I love Raven's outfit.
Yeah.
Just always.
She's also got the stupid like belly button jewel thing, but like, fine, you know. And I really loved that she kind of went from like all these dark colours to these bright colours at the end, like magic because
Yes.
the power of love, and I thought that was really cool. So yeah,
Why does this keep coming back? The power of love, the
So-
power of friendship.
it's always the power of love,
amazing.
the power of friendship. Come on. Coming in at number 2 is my girl Harley, because it suits the character very well.
Yes.
She can move in it. Like, her whole thing is that she's a crazy gymnast, right?
Yes.
That's like her shtick. So
Never more so than in this movie, I don't think.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
they do stuff that you could never do in the movies.
yeah.
You know, because obviously it's animated.
So, you know, her outfit makes sense, and she looks good wearing it, frankly. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
totally down with the makeup, but, you know,
I mean,
still...
I love the fact that, like, she's just wearing, like, the court jester outfit just down to, like, her neck,
Yeah.
and then the rest of it is still the same colours, but it's clearly not the same outfit.
Yeah, she's just
And
like...
I'm just sitting there like, she totally did that deliberately.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Yeah. Coming in at number 3, I actually really liked Superman's outfit for like the middle third of the film, I guess, where he's like...
Do you mean the depowered, like, I don't want to say like homeless Clark Kent, but like the
Homeless
long
Clark
hair,
Kent,
the beard,
Yeah.
the green kryptonite S.
Yes. The green eyes. The green eyes
Oh,
kind of got
was
me. I was like,
beautiful.
wow. Okay.
Yes, amazing.
I thought that the costume design was very good there. It's not anything special again, but it made the distinction very clear that this guy is having a time of it.
It's not Superman at the moment.
No.
No.
That was number 4, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't do...
3.
That was
No,
3.
you've done 3. You're on number 4. Yeah.
Okay, so number 4 is... Oh god, I can't remember her name. Constantine's girl.
Zatanna.
Zatanna, yes. I loved her outfit.
Yes.
I thought it was cool.
Just the monochromatic black and white.
Yeah.
It's really good. It is really good.
Yeah, she looks kick-ass. Hell yeah.
And it's simple, and it's not. It looks like she's still got movement
Yeah.
there, and since she's magic, and it just feels really cool.
Yeah, and it makes sense, you know. It makes
Her
sense.
flying, it kind of looks like some kind of bird, like with the black and white.
Yeah.
It's just majestic, and the black hair,
Yes.
Ah. majestic.
And then coming in at number 5 is probably... Oh, what's her name? Orchid? Like the
Orchid.
purpley person in one of the strike teams on the
Oh, do you mean
Magma
the
stealing.
the fully purple one?
Yeah. The
Yes,
one who like
yes.
threw a house into it.
I think that is Orchid,
Yeah. hold on.
probably.
Yeah, it is Orchid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought her outfit was really cool. Yeah. No, that's pretty much it.
Fair enough.
And I like purple.
Yeah. So she is she's a member of the Justice League Dark along with Zatanna, Constantine, Swamp Thing, Batman.
Yeah.
So that's like the 5 of them. I'm fairly sure.
Okay.
Is that so? Yeah, she's actually in the other Justice League Dark movie. So you know that's pretty cool. If you like the outfit, go watch it.
Yeah, I will go watch it simply because pretty costumes.
Yes. What did you think of Constantine's?
I thought it
'Cause
made sense for him. I had
His is always the same. He always wears that, no matter what he's in. He always like live action comics, animated, always.
my only like tiny little niggle, right, is that so he's obviously been slumming it for like 2 years in like this random like house that he's found, right?
Mhm.
His shirt is impeccably white for someone who has been slumming it for 2 years.
But that's the animation at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know. Oh well.
Oh well. But no, I thought in general his costume design was really nice. I think it makes sense for his character because he doesn't seem like the kind of character who would mix it up. He seems like the kind of person who would
No,
work out that they look good in one thing and just stick to that.
that is literally it.
Yeah.
The only time off the top of my head I can remember is in an episode of one of the DC TV shows where they were in like this kind of alternate universe, and he was dressed as a British butler, like from Downton Abbey.
Oh.
But that was against his will, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, that doesn't really count.
But yeah, that's that.
Okay.
So moving on to
Irredeemable.
This was your suggestion. Take it away.
So this week for Irredeemable, we're doing something a little different. Usually, we'll take a show or a film that one of us really, really loves, but the world seems to hate, and talk about it, or a film that we hate and the world seems to love. But this week, we are just going for a controversial choice because neither of us could think of a film.
No.
So this week, neither of us had seen it before, so this is our.
The only thing that I knew was that it had won awards and it had won some film festivals.
Yeah, so
that was all that I knew. So clearly people like it.
Well, so this week we ended up watching Blue is the Warmest Colour, and obviously spoilers, y'all. I have a lot of feelings about this film. I have 4 sticky notes worth of feelings.
I have 2 feelings.
Oh.
Only 2. My thoughts on this movie can be split into 2 feelings.
Go on then.
So, feeling number 1 is I do not like this movie.
Okay.
Just point blank, I think it is... I didn't find it interesting. I think the cinematography was unengaging. I just didn't like it. But there's a caveat, which is feeling number 2.
Okay.
Which is that all of the above is true, except for some of the scenes. There's scenes that are filmed on a park bench in a park, and it's filmed when the sun is literally glaring from behind them. And I think they are beautiful scenes. Like, they just look really nice. They've got this kind of glow to them. That was the only time I was really engaged in it.
Yeah.
And that's because the cinematography was good. But the rest of it was... no.
Yeah. So my first note, funny you should mention, is shaky cam is shaky.
Shaky can be shaky, guys.
This whole film, it's filmed with shaky cam. Like, I don't think there was one static shot in the whole film, and...
See, that really makes me wonder, like, from a filmmaking perspective, especially as an editor.
Yeah.
Did they film it all statically and then just go over the whole thing and go, let's add shaky cam to the whole thing in one go? Because, like, I feel like that's the only way that would happen. Unless you're just walking around without a tripod.
I think they just filmed the whole thing without a tripod.
That's just...
Yeah, I know. No.
Okay, shaky can be shaky.
Shaky can be shaking. My second note is... So the first sex scene is literally like 20 minutes in. Okay, guys, there are so many sex scenes in this. Like, so many.
It's ridiculous.
Like... Oh my...
And I know that, like, it made the actors uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, there's been controversy around it.
Like, the whole thing is that they had to keep redoing them until the director was happy with it, and he wouldn't take no for an answer, even though it made, like, all of the actors really uncomfortable. Like, they did not want to do this. They were forced into it anyways.
Yeah.
And, I mean... Okay, so there's 2 things. There's a couple things about the sex scenes. So, the one is that a couple of them are really long for no apparent reason.
Yeah, they just go on forever.
And you're just sitting there like, why am I watching these 2 people having sex? And then...
Yeah.
The other thing is, they are well shot, sure, but like, what? What did they add to the story? I don't know. I
mean, in terms of story, you could cut them.
Yeah.
and they would be fine. Or you know what? You make them a minute long.
Yeah, like,
Does the same thing.
they don't need to be that long.
Doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't. So, carrying on, I don't like Adele. So Adele is the main character, and we follow her like life story, I guess,
Yes.
from like about 15 until she's like somewhere in her mid-20s, I guess.
From when she's 15, but looks like she's like 20 maybe,
Yeah.
to when she is 40, but looks like she's 20 maybe,
Yeah.
but wearing glasses.
Yeah, I don't know. The timeline is really, really vague.
Yeah,
Like
it's
super vague.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I don't like Adele's friends. They're not nice to her.
No.
You know, they're kind of mean to her because, you know, she might be gay, and yeah, fair enough. They're idiots. I don't like them. So my first like really thing with this film is there is so much cheating in this film, and I have no idea if it's just these people being idiots or if it's just the French.
Okay.
Like, you know, first of all, you have Emma, who is like the love interest, and you know,
Yes.
we find out that she has a girlfriend called Sabine, and you know, they've been together for like 2 years, and Adele at this point is somewhere between 15 and 17, and Emma is old enough to be going to university. So it's a bit of a question of, firstly, what is this university student doing with, like, you know, an under 18? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And secondly, you have a girlfriend? Stop?
Also, I just want to. I don't like to keep looping back on points, but the whole age difference thing
Yeah.
is that. But because the actors look the same age,
Yeah.
like, are you supposed to be okay with it then? Is that how that works?
I don't know. I've written down casually cheating with a literal child.
And they make a point of emphasizing that, like she when they first meet, like,
Yeah.
properly, and she's like, oh, you know, what's an underage girl doing in a place like this? And it's like,
just stop, creepy.
chill.
And then later on, I'm like, yeah, sorry, Sabine, I found someone else. She's 15. Like, how is that conversation gonna go? We don't see it. Whatever. My next note is 18th birthday, because we see her celebrate her 18th. And I'm like, how old is she? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is.
You know what they could have done? And this is, again, I think, me raging on the cinematography.
Yeah.
Because if they did do this, I missed it. Just, surely there should be some indication of her age on the cake, right?
Yeah.
Or, like, anything to do with her birthday. Just somewhere. All it needs is a number in the background and we're fine.
No. Here's the thing. So for that birthday party we saw, that is her 18th, because, you know, the people around her are like, oh, happy 18th. So that's fair enough.
Okay.
But I was really confused, because at that point I was like, how old is she? I don't know. Like, I asked the internet, and the internet was like 15, and I was like, what?
Time doesn't pass properly in
No.
it either. Like, you have no idea of how fast time is passing. Like,
Yeah.
they don't indicate time jumps at all. They just happen.
Yeah.
And the actor looks the same age, and you're like, what's going on? My head hurts. Can I go to sleep?
Yeah, pretty much. Also, it takes, like, the whole film takes show don't tell to, like, insane levels. There is so little dialogue in this film.
Yes.
Like, oh my god.
Also, I didn't think the dialogue was that well written either.
It really wasn't. The dialogue is nothing interesting. It's very, like, show-based. And if they were gonna make a, you know, a very, I don't want to say wordless, but, like, dialogue not filled film, then they should have probably made the film prettier. Right?
Yes, I have a principle that I picked up from a director I worked with in this past year,
Yeah.
and they said to me that their film, they were interested if it would work as like a silent film.
Yeah.
Could you tell the entire story with if you just cut all the dialogue? And I always think that is a good thing to strive for
Yeah.
in anything. Make sure the things around the dialogue tell the story as well. And in this, it doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. You're basically left to like grasp at straws, and like I kind of get what the plot is, but also it's so vague with the timing that I have no idea. So also they have the cheating bisexual trope, which I do not like.
Yeah.
I identified as bisexual for quite a few years a while back, and y'all.
I don't think it's not a fair. Like, I think it comes down to people think bisexual because it means both. You're trying to say both two genders, and people automatically means that says that, oh, if you were dating a girl, you would then cheat on them with a guy because you want to be with both.
Yeah,
that's not what that means at all.
Really not.
It just means, like, unless that is kind of like open relationships and etc. But generally, just all it means is that when you're going through that love story, going through the world, trying to find true love and whatever, that true love can be any gender. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just, it doesn't mean that you're going to find that one and then go, well, actually, I also need to find one who's the other gender, so I'm going to go cheat on them.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it means.
That's really not. So yeah, you're left to sort of guess the timing, which means that like the hit points in the film, so the bits where you're actually meant to feel bad for the characters, you really don't, because.
Oh yeah, when that, so towards the end.
Yeah.
Well, maybe around the 2 hour 15 mark. I don't know. I lost.
Oh yeah, this film is like 3 hours long, and
yeah,
it's
maybe part 1 of 2. I wasn't. Anyway, we'll get to that. So basically, Emma finds out that Adele kissed this guy like drunkenly.
Yeah.
And is like, oh, you're sleeping with him, and they get really angry. And I'm sitting here and like, this is meant to be like a whole thing of like they've been together. Maybe this is 10 years down the line, right?
Yeah.
They've been living. They've both got careers now, and then suddenly this big emotional thing happens, but it means nothing because they look like 1920-year-olds, and they were 1920 half an hour ago, and there was no indication of any time. Like, nothing changes.
Nothing.
Like,
and
not
also,
even the backgrounds or anything. They're just all the same.
And like, I'm pretty sure that Emma was cheating on Adele anyways with the person that she ends up with in the end. Like, I got that vibe really heavy, and
Yeah.
Maybe she wasn't. I don't know. We're not told. We're not even. It's not even like a suggestion, really.
Yeah, my anger is at the lack of evidence of a time jump. Like,
yeah,
even something as lovely as, or potentially not lovely as, just use a different color scheme.
Yeah.
For each time period, just go for it. Have some fun. This is meant to be like for a film festival competition thing.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah, this is the Cannes Festival. Like, come on. I mean, it is a very serious film festival, but still.
Yeah.
And then later on, like, they've broken up, and Adele and Emma meet at a cafe at a undefined amount of time later. We don't know. And
very unclear.
Emma and Lisa, I think her name is, they have a kid now, yeah?
Yes.
And so this kid has 2 mothers. One of them is Emma.
Bearing in mind that now that you've mentioned it, there is a very definite vibe at a dinner party that Adele hosts for all of Emma's artsy friends.
Yeah.
There's a very definite vibe that there's something between Emma and Lisa.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's ridiculous.
There is a vibe, TM.
And like, Adele looks like she's noticing it, but then nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
And at this point, you know, Adele, like, is trying to win Emma back, I guess. And I'm like, dude, there's a kid involved. Control your goddamn libido.
Also, they cheat on, like, Emma cheats on Lisa in that scene.
Yeah. And also I'm like, Miss, there are other diners in the restaurant. You all are
Oh
being
yeah.
so loud. And then again, what is it
So
with people
strange.
cheating in this film? And like, I don't know about you, but I always thought that Adele looks a bit lost or overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Like, constantly.
I just yeah, but I wonder. I have is the amount of cheating meant to be like some kind of satire on like people cheating, and they've like dialed it up to 11 to try and provide like a commentary on it or something?
I don't think so.
Like, you know, when you say, oh, I want to emphasize this big thing that's happened, so you produce a thing of media and you dial that thing up to 11 to emphasize it. Is it like that?
I mean, surely they would make it more. It...
It doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Just doesn't. So yeah, they're in the cafe and it gets very intense.
It does, very quickly. And then Emma just kind of leaves. She's like, I'll always have a bit of tenderness for you, but I don't love you anymore. Okay, bye. And just goes.
Yeah.
And then the final scene, you have Adele at this like art gallery opening.
Was it Lisa's?
No, it's for Emma's art.
Yeah, I got there as for Emma's art, but I didn't know. I got the sense. I thought like it was someone's art gallery opening.
Yes, it was. It was a character, Gustav, I think. No, not Gustav. There was someone else. Yeah. There was an art collector person.
It's not important.
It's really not. The fact that I can't even remember his name.
And then she runs into. There's like this whole thing where Lisa's like, oh. Was it Lisa who said, "Oh, clearly you still mean something to her because your art, the art that she did of you is still up."
Yeah, that is Lisa, which seems like a really weird thing for Emma's girlfriend to say to her ex.
I mean, I kind of like it, only because in real life, you were after a emotionally devastating breakup.
Yeah.
Though we never got the idea that Emma was emotionally anyway, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Usually what you do is you try and cut out all of those things.
Yeah.
Right? And I kind of like this idealized version where actually no, she kept it all because that's how emotions work. Like if you love something, they always hold a special place, and most people try and completely eliminate that place. And I kind of like that she didn't.
I mean, is this the point to say that I've got a box full of all the bits and pieces that my exes have given me over the years? I can't bring myself to get rid of it. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's yeah. I kind of like the whole nostalgia.
Yeah.
Idea of it.
But she meets a guy that she hasn't seen in ages.
Isn't that the guy who was at that
party? Yeah.
Party, and then she went. No, yeah, it was at the party, yeah.
Yeah, it was at the party, and he's like, oh, hey, and he, is obviously trying to chat her up, but then he gets distracted, and she gets, overwhelmed, I think, and just leaves.
And leaves, and then it's over?
Yeah. And you're sitting there,
and then it comes up saying part 1 of 2?
No, it says parts 1 and 2.
Oh, and 2.
Yeah, so it's chapters 1 and 2, because it's based on a book or a comic series, I think?
Something like that, yeah. So, yeah, it's.
So overall,
it was a film.
What is my overall reaction? Is just what?
It was a film.
I think if I'd seen it when I was younger, I probably would have loved it because younger me was just anything that had gay representation. I was just all over. I was like, oh my god, yes, please. But as an adult,
the problem I have with it is they clearly understand how to do certain good film stuff.
Yeah.
Like the emphasis on blue, the way they use blue as a colour is amazing.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing. But why can't they do that with everything else?
It would have been so
Or is that the point? It's meant to
know.
emphasise the blue because everything else is bad?
I don't know. This film confuses me, and I don't know why it is so, widely acclaimed to be a good film, because it's really, really not. Like,
Yeah, I did not like it. I
neither
did
did
not like
I.
it.
I think we've got an irredeemable on our hands.
Bluest warmest color, you're irredeemable.
Yeah,
Get out.
there we go.
We have spoken.
And thus the council has decided.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of councils deciding things,
Alright.
a recent announcement is that Zack Snyder's Justice League will be releasing on HBO Max, the new streaming service, next year.
Okay.
Well, what does that mean?
That's
Because
a very good question.
there's a lot of stuff. So, Justice League, the movie, came out in 2017, late 2017. And it's a sequel to Batman vs Superman, and it had a lot of problems. So after Batman vs Superman came out, and everyone didn't really like it, I like it, but that's besides the point.
I'd like to mention I have seen neither of these films, and I don't plan on it either.
So basically, there was a lot of backlash to it being too dark and things like that, and poor representation of Batman or Superman and things like that. So when Zack Snyder, who made Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, he then started making Justice League. He made a few changes to accommodate, try and steer it towards a better direction where it was going.
Okay.
And so he started making that, essentially making the third film in his trilogy of films.
Okay.
But basically, his daughter died during production.
Oh gosh.
So he left to obviously deal with this family emergency.
Yeah.
And maybe he was fired beforehand, we don't know. But basically they brought in Joss Whedon, who made the Avengers films, to come and finish the film. And so he reshot a lot of it, cost a lot of money, I think 25 million or something like that, to do all the reshoots. And we edited it, we did a colour, added jokes, all that stuff. And it released to theatres, that version. It's not good. I mean, I had a great time, because I will have a great time with any comic book movie, but it's not good. So ever since then, there's been a petition, which is basically hashtag release the Snyder Cut, which is people wanting the original version of the film without all the reshoots that Zack Snyder made to be released. Because they think it's going to be the most amazing thing ever, which it's not, but, you know. Because he made the other two movies that people didn't like that much, so, you know, anyway.
Regardless, back to the point.
So everyone kept pestering everyone. It was all over Twitter. It was the most hashtagged thing at Warner Brothers, on their Twitter, out of all their movies and everything, was release the Snyder Cut, which is a movie that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyway, so then teasers started coming out. Zack Snyder started releasing pictures from the Snyder Cut and hinting at it. He showed supposedly the tapes where it was all stored, and then some of the actors from the film started kind of joining in. And then it turns out in February of this year, they turned round, Warner Brothers turned around and said, Zack will give you 25 million to finish your version of the movie, and we'll release it on HBO Max next year.
Okay.
Because basically, the reason behind it is this is a new streaming service. They need content.
Yeah.
For it. And currently, content isn't being made.
It really isn't.
If they can have all the movie filmed and all that needs doing is VFX work and things like that, great, let's do that. Let's get content ready to go that we can make now. So it's unclear what is happening exactly, other than the movie's being released. It might be a 4-hour movie, or it might be like 6 episodes. Unclear.
But it's gonna be big.
Yes, and it has interesting repercussions on, well, two things. DC, first of all, is this movie canon or not? Like, we don't know. Like, how does it work? If it does well, are they going to make sequels? But I think more importantly, what does this mean for other movies that have directors like versions? So a lot of directors get fired from things. The best one I can think of at the moment is Josh Trank, who made the new Fantastic Four film that came out in 2015, which was a bad film, but he got fired from it and then it got reshot.
Yeah.
So his version of the film are people going to see this, and are Disney maybe going to release that to Disney Plus at some point? Like, what does this mean? Suicide Squad, David Ayer, apparently that's not the version of the film that he made. So are we going to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad at some point?
I don't know. That's a really interesting question, though.
Like what happens? What happens? Like, what does this mean? Is it going to be an isolated incident? Is it not? Like, they've said for Jared Leto's Joker, there's enough footage apparently there for a whole movie just with him.
Oh, I really hope we don't get that. Oh, God, no.
But apparently, he was really good, according to the director, but you didn't get to see it.
Yeah, well,
so I kind of do want to see it.
So I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I'm just floating these ideas. Like, what does this mean for the future of film? You know, do we get films come out and then a couple of years later we get alternative versions of them? I know it happened with Superman 2 back in the 80s, I think.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that got released and then an alternative cut got made like 20 years later and released. So like this is why I wanted to mention it, because it's insane. Like, what does this mean?
I guess we'll have to wait and see, because like until stuff starts happening, we really don't know. I think it'll also the words. I think that the quarantine is going to affect this one way or another, right? So
yeah,
I reckon that depending on how long the quarantine goes on for, like, companies might start contacting like directors that they fired or had to leave for whatever reason, be like, hi, do you want to just take all this footage, do something cool with it?
Yeah, because... like and the biggest the thing for me is that we're getting a new Justice League movie, and it's going to be roughly the same story, but a lot of the issues that were with that, the two main issues I can put down to is tonal inconsistency, which is due to having two different directors fighting for the spotlight basically on their style. So that problem won't be there anymore.
Yes.
It will be purely a Zack Snyder production, which whatever people think, I really like it. So
okay.
And also the reshoots cause a lot of problems. For example, Superman, you've probably heard about this. Superman was filming Mission Impossible at the time, and he has a mustache in it. And when he came back to the reshoots, they had to digitally remove his mustache, and it looks awful.
Yikes.
But that's not going to be an issue anymore, because suddenly it's, we're not using any of that footage now.
Yeah.
And apparently the actors aren't allowed to come back to perform any like new acting, but they are allowed to redub audio.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of freedom to do. So just kind of watch this space, because lockdown and quarantine and COVID, it's changing film. It really is. It's creating new possibilities.
It's changing the TV sector as we know it, which I think
Yes.
might be a good thing.
That's all I wanted to say, really.
Okay. So, moving on, I have been having a very, very busy week. I haven't really been watching anything new. I've just been catching up on old stuff, which I've already talked about. So, for example, like the Harley Quinn animated series, which is really good, and you guys should go watch it if you're not. Like...
I will be watching it, I think, this week.
Ooh,
so,
exciting!
Yeah.
It's really good if you're okay with like a bit of animated gore. Have you been watching anything interesting?
Well, it's really interesting that you say about going back and watching some old things, kind of catching up, because that's what I've been doing.
Oh.
as well. And I've almost been campaigning. I was posting a bit on my Insta story. I'm sure you saw. You know, during lockdowns here, exams are over. Go back and watch shows you randomly stopped watching for no reason.
Yes, I did see that, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Next thing, I'll be starting a hashtag.
Maybe don't
Anyway.
do that during, like, you know.
So, my TV show of choice for this was a show called iZombie,
Okay.
which came out it's all on Netflix, and I
Is
got
it?
to start season 4 and I stopped for some reason.
Probably got busy.
Yeah, and I've gone back and it's really good. So it's based on a DC comic, I'm fairly sure, but it's not a DC show. That's like, it's not, but it's based on a comic that's owned by DC.
Okay.
And basically, the rundown of it is there's a girl, her name's Liv, and she's Tinkerbell in Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
So good. But there's a girl called Liv, and she got turned into a zombie, and she works in a morgue. And if you eat the brains of someone, you get their memories. So what she does is she works with a police detective to solve crimes by eating the brains of the victims and getting the memories.
That was fantastic. Oh my
It really
God.
is. And the best bit is, because when you eat that, you also get their personality traits. So she's always acting differently
Yeah.
every episode because she's on a different person's brain. So she has like a different personality.
Yeah.
And they manage to do character development even when your character's changing every week. It's so good.
That's fantastic.
So it's well worth a watch.
Right.
None of what I said is really spoilers because it's basically just the premise of the show in the first couple of minutes. But go watch it. It's really good. The acting is fine. I mean, it's a CW show. It's all cringy romance drama and stuff.
But the premise.
But the premise is really, really cool, and it has, I think, one of my favorite title sequences, where it's like, what I can only describe. It's like a comic book style origin story. Oh, it's just really good. I won't say anything more than that, but just go watch it. It's really good.
I'll watch it. Gosh.
It's really good. So good. Yeah.
The last thing we have to talk about today is what we've been playing, and I've been very boring. I've just been playing Terraria. It's good.
We can't have another Terraria episode.
Exactly. So what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing some Sid Meier's Civilization 5
Okay.
because I needed something strategy based.
I do love Civ 5.
And yeah, I've been having a great time playing it. Mostly just playing through a very easy game, just relearning all the mechanics.
Yeah.
'Cause it's been quite a number of years, but that was pretty fun. And because it's an easy game, you get to have all the fun little moments. So I'm slowly invading everywhere, which is always fun. I founded a religion called the Church of Tommy, and it's slowly taking over the world.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just really fun to just kind of chill. I'm playing as the English because I want to make things as weird as possible. So Canterbury is more north than London. Canterbury, of course, being the best because I live in Canterbury. But then you've also got an island of Oxford. That was that was fun. As is the island of Norwich.
You made me an island?
So that was pretty good. Had fun with had a great.
Dude.
And of course, no one will forget because on another continent there was America. Now, of course, everyone will remember England colonized America with, of course, as we know it, not Newfoundland, but with Liverpool.
Oh my God.
Just
why
so
are you
good.
like this?
so good. It's great, fantastic.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God.
if you're bored, go geography-wise, relocate all your favourite towns and cities,
Oh my god.
or put the ones you don't like in America.
Actually, that's the thing. That's the thing. So, I have, as I may have mentioned before, been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, and it's June now, which means that wedding season is upon us. Yay, wedding season! And this year you can go to Harvey's Island, or Photopia, as he calls it, which is an awful name and I don't like. But the point is that you can go there and take wedding photos for this really cute llama couple, Reese and Cyrus, who are adorable. And they'll like give you furniture, and you can then buy more of their furniture, and it's like wedding themed stuff,
Okay.
but it's really, really cute. It's so cute, you have no idea. So I'm going back every day to get new furniture, because you get new furniture each time you go to them, and yeah, it's cute. I love it. You should play Animal
Fantastic.
Crossing.
I should. I definitely should.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today.
it really is.
So join us next week when we'll be continuing to talk about the stuff that no one asked us to.
Yep.
And we hope you have a good week.
Yeah, have a good week, y'all. Bye.
Bye.